Hi everyone, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. For today's video, it is actually time for another collection and declutter video in my declutter series where I basically go through my collection. I show you which makeup products I have in that category, and then I'm also going to be decluttering products. I already did part 1, which was eyeshadow palettes, and then part 2, which was my lip product collection. Today we're doing blush and bronzers, so I'm just going to take these little baskets. Pretty messy in here, but it is nice in my drawers to keep everything together. And I'm not going to be including face palettes. I think that is going to be a separate category with the highlighters and maybe something else, because I think I have like quite a bit already to go through. I have like a ton of cream bronzers that we need to go through. I have some more liquid blushes in here, so I think today's video is already going to be quite long with just showing you guys what I have. I want to go a little bit more in depth in showing you what is actually in my collection, because to be honest, I don't think I'm going to be decluttering too many things in this category. I think blushes and bronzers are kind of like my favorite category makeup wise, and I've been really into them. I'm definitely going to declutter some things. I mean, there's already some things I'm looking at where I'm thinking I can get rid of them. I think I am going to start with the bronzer, so I'm just going to put everything on top here so I can put in here what I'm actually keeping. I recently did a full like cream bronzer collection that you can watch if you're not really sure like which one you would like the most, so definitely check that out if you want to see my thoughts on the bronzers in particular. Just going to randomly grab some things. The first thing I'm grabbing here is the Tarte Amazonian Clay Bronzer in the shade Park Ave Princess. This I got this year, and this is a really pretty bronzer. So I just changed the temperature of my ring light a little bit because I felt like everything was showing up pretty warm toned, and this bronzer is actually more of a cool tone bronzer, so I really hope you can see that. This is what the shade Park Ave Princess looks like. It does look quite light in the pan. Like when I saw this, I was like, how is this going to work for my skin tone, even though I have a really light skin tone? But it's actually a really pretty shade. You can already kind of see like the rings of the pan because I actually did use this quite a bit, and I do really enjoy this formula. So this one is definitely going to be staying in the collection. Another one that is going to be staying is the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Contour Wand in the shade Fair Medium. This is really pretty. Then of course the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Bronzer I'm of course going to be keeping. This is such a pretty bronzer, already like the packaging alone, and there is just so much product in here. I haven't used this in a little bit. Should definitely reach for it. Like I do have like quite a big makeup collection, so I do like switch up the products a lot that I'm using, but this is one I always enjoy using, and this is the shade One Fair. This Rare Beauty Happy Soul bronzer stick. I see a lot of people talk about how great these bronzers are, and I definitely don't think they're bad, but the shade is just like not right for me. It always looks kind of off. My camera's having a little bit of a hard time focusing, but this shade is just like very warm on my skin tone. I think it's finally time to get rid of this. I've kept it in my collection for too long and didn't reach for it. Like, I'm a little bit hesitant because of like how popular it is. It makes me want to keep them because I'm like, everyone loves this and I don't. So that is a little bit difficult sometimes, but I have to be realistic. I should not keep a product just because other people love it. But one that I'm for sure going to be keeping is this one from NARS. This is the Laguna Cream Bronzer, and this one just launched this year. Like the original Laguna bronzer launched before this year already, but this is a new shade. It's actually the shade Laguna 01. I actually find this one to be the perfect bronzer shade. It looks so pretty. I just got this on vacation like a month ago, so definitely I'm not going to get rid of this one yet, and I probably never will because it's beautiful. And of course I'm also keeping the Patrick Ta Cream Contour and Powder Bronzer Duo. This one is in the shade She's Statuesque. That's such like a difficult name, but this is such a pretty bronzer. I do use the bronzer a lot as well, but the cream part, like the actual contour part, is really pretty too. And I'll actually try to show you like the difference between this one and the Rare Beauty, like how much of a difference it is in terms of the shade. Like there you can see it. The Patrick Ta is the perfect shade for me. It's probably looking a little bit lighter on camera because of my ring light, but as you can see, the Rare Beauty is just really off when this is the perfect shade for me. I'm also finally going to be decluttering the Glowish by Huda Beauty bronzer. This one I bought to review, and it is really pretty like looking at it, but for some reason I just never reach for it. I think it's also the shade. It has a bit of a red undertone, and I'm just not here for the shade. And also I see like no one talking about this anymore, so I don't really think people are very interested in this one anymore. So it doesn't really like serve a purpose for my channel either, so I am going to let go of this. I did have this in the shade 01 Light, and I'm probably going to give this away because it's definitely not expired yet, and it is really pretty, but it is just not like something I wear on a daily basis. Then right here we have this bronzer from Kosas, and this is really pretty. I've had like not a bad experience with Kosas, but I'm just not enjoying their products as much as I thought I would based on the hype that they get. Like I bought the cloud set powder, and I mean it's a fine powder, but it's not anything like out of this world. I'm not like a super big fan of it. And this one is actually really pretty, but I also don't find myself reaching for it all that much. But that is mainly because of like the scent of this. I don't know what it smells like, but it just doesn't smell like super nice. I bought this from Revolve like just a few months ago, so it's totally not expired yet, but I think it's just like because it's clean beauty, it has like weird scent, I don't know. But I also got the concealer a while back, and that one really smelled really bad, so I ended up getting a refund on that one because I really think that one was expired. But with this one, I feel like it smells different than when I first got it, but I mean it doesn't smell super bad, and it just cannot be expired yet because it has an 18-month shelf life, and I've only like owned this for a few months. I'm just going to put this in the maybe pile for now, so I'm just going to put it, I think, with the declutter here because I haven't reached for this in like a really long time, and like the scent just throws me off. I'm like pretty sensitive when it comes to scents. Like sometimes I find things smell weird even when like other people barely notice it, and it really like makes me not want to use a product. So I'm just going to leave it there, and we'll see what to do with that one. And then here we have the Charlotte Tilbury Evers bronzer that is in my project pan. I posted about this one on Instagram recently because I don't know if you can see, but there is just this gray part in there which looks really like weird. I was thinking, is this mold? I don't know. It is officially past its shelf life, but I've never really seen a bronzer really expire, especially not a powder bronzer. And I just posted about this on my Instagram. I was like, what can this be? I have sprayed this with alcohol before in the past to sanitize it when I use it on other people, so maybe it is from the alcohol, but I feel like it is something that recently just happened to it. And like I'm not sure. Like I know like on my eyeshadow palette video as well, I got a lot of comments saying that makeup doesn't expire as fast as the shelf life says typically, especially not powder products. But I mean, we're all comfortable with different things. Some people like use their makeup products for like 5 to 10 years, and I could never do that because I'm like pretty cautious when it comes to that sort of thing. So I'm always a little bit hesitant when things like this happen. Like it can totally be just hard pan, but I'm just starting to think like, what if it's mold? So definitely let me know what you guys think about this one. I am going to keep it for now because it is really nice, and if it's just hard pan then I can totally use it, but I've just like never seen anything like this happen before. So I have one more bronzer in here. This one is from Tarte, and it is the Sea Breezy Cream Bronzer in the shade Seychelles. It is a really pretty bronzer. I would say the shade is like not my perfect shade. It's a little bit close to the Rare Beauty one, but I still enjoy this one because it is still a bit better than that one. But I am going to be keeping this one as well because I just got this year. So I hope I'm not forgetting anything, but I should have 7 bronzers in my collection right now. As you can see, I have 2 powder bronzers and 5 cream bronzers. This is the Glossier Cloud Paint in the shade Dusk, and this is actually a really pretty product. It's actually like a beautiful like warm brown shade, and I find this really flattering actually. I didn't expect to love like a brown shade like this, but I think for the fall time also it's super pretty. It's sort of like give this like bronzy look. Really pretty, so definitely going to be keeping that. I'm also going to be keeping this one from Pat McGrath. If I would have filmed this video like a month ago, I would probably like declutter this one because I was like never reach for it. But the past month I have just rediscovered this in my collection, and I just love using this. This is the Pat McGrath blush in the shade Flirtatious. It's a beautiful shade. I totally like forgot how beautiful this is, so I'm so happy I rediscovered this one in my collection. So that is the Pat McGrath Flirtatious blush. Definitely going to be keeping this one. I'm also for sure going to be keeping the Patrick Ta blush Geo in the shade She's So LA. This is really beautiful as well. This is what it looks like. It's also a bit more of that sort of like bronzy tone, but it is a little bit like more rosy. It looks a little bit more like a blush, but I'll swatch the cream side for you because it's actually super pretty. As you can see, that is slightly more sheer than the Glossier one. I'm also going to be keeping the Hourglass blush in the shade Iridescent Flash. I got this in an advent calendar last year. It is a little bit different than what I usually wear. It's a bit more purpley toned. I'm going to declutter this ColourPop Tinkerbell blush in the shade Magic Moon. Moon. It is like a beautiful apricot shade, but I just feel like it doesn't look right on my skin tone. I had like a little bit of a like different idea on how this was going to look on me than it actually does, so I never really reached for this. So this is definitely one I can get rid of, especially since the Super Shock products from ColourPop are sort of like cream to powder. They expire a little bit faster than a regular powder product, so I'd rather have someone else still be able to enjoy this before it goes bad. So this one is going to go, and the same counts for this one, which is the ColourPop Super Shock blush in the shade At First Blush, and I've actually never used this, so that's a little bit sad. I got this because I thought it was going to be like a dupe for Charlotte Tilbury like Pinkgasm, but I already have Charlotte Tilbury Pinkgasm, so I was like, why did I even get this? Because like I have the exact product that I want to have, so why should I get like a dupe that I never reach for? Because I would always rather reach for the Charlotte Tilbury one if I would go for this type of blush. So this is just like no longer necessary in my collection. I'm probably going to give this away. It is a beautiful shade, I just like don't need it. Talking about Pinkgasm, we have it right here. Of course I'm going to be keeping this, and it is beautiful, sort of like a metallic pink, super pretty, so this one is totally going to be staying. Another one that's staying is the REM Beauty Eclipse Lip and Cheek Stick in the shade Stage Mom. This is again more of this like warm brown type shade. I love the formula of this, and I might even like get a different shade as well because this one is really pretty, so definitely keeping that one. I'm also going to keep the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk Lip and Cheek Glow for now. I don't really use it a lot anymore, but I do want to keep it in case I want to use it again. Also keeping this Tarte Amazonian Clay blush in a shade Bloom. This is a really pretty like pink shade, and I feel like this looks so flattering, so definitely going to be keeping this one as well. I then have 4 of the Charlotte Tilbury Cheek to Chic blushes, and I'm going to be keeping all 4 of them. First we have Ecstasy, a beautiful peachy pink shade. Next, Pillow Talk Intense. This is a beautiful like fall blush, very gorgeous. The Climax is a beautiful sort of like also brown with a little bit of pink tone blush, and this doesn't look super impressive in the pan, but it's so beautiful on the face. I really need to wear this one again. And then the Cheek to Chic in Pillow Talk, of course, going to be keeping this, such a classic blush. I'm also keeping this little Benefit mini blush in the shade Krista. It's almost like a neon strawberry pink blush, but it's really beautiful on the skin, so I'm definitely going to be keeping this one. I just grabbed this from a different drawer, but I am going to be decluttering the Bare Minerals bronzer. It is really pretty, but I just like never reach for it anymore. This Natasha Blush and Glow Gel, I think I'm going to declutter as well because I literally forgot I had this. I'm going to declutter the other Benefit blush that I have. This is the shade Peachin, and I just find it's too similar to the Charlotte Tilbury Ecstasy blush I just showed. And I think I'm going to declutter this one from Rare Beauty as well. I know my mom really wants to try this too, and I have another liquid blush that is just really similar to this one, and that is this one from Laura Mercier, and it is in the shade Provence, and it's sort of like a similar type shade, like a nude pink shade. So I think I'd rather keep this one and then give the other one to my mom, because right now I'm just not using it as much as I should. So I'm going to be keeping the Laura Mercier and decluttering the Rare Beauty one. I just even like find the Rare Beauty one a little bit too pigmented sometimes. And I am going to be keeping this one from Rare Beauty though. And this one is the liquid blush in a shade Love. It looks very intense when you look at it like this, but if you take like the tiniest amount, and I literally mean the tiniest amount, this is actually quite pretty on the skin, and it's like a beautiful warm tone shade. So this one is going to be staying in the collection. And then we're at the last 2 blushes. First, this one from Too Faced. This is the Love Flush watercolor blush in the shade California Love. I picked this up at the cosmetics company store. Look at these little rabbits. How cute is this little blush? I like the shape, and I also like the shade. It's a beautiful like nude pink shade, which is perfect for every day. So this one is going to be staying. And the last blush in here I'm going to be decluttering. This is the Flower Beauty in Warm Hibiscus. I picked this up just to try Flower Beauty, and it's a pretty blush, but it's not something special, so this one is going to go as well. So here are the products that I'm going to be decluttering. I got rid of 1, 2, 3 bronzers and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 blushes. This is actually a cheek duo. This should have been in my face palette collection, but I was looking at it in a drawer and I was like, why not declutter it right now? So I got rid of 10 products, which I think I did a really good job, to be honest. I feel like my collection is now just what I want it to be, a little bit more curated, and then these ones I just haven't reached for in like a super long time. And I hope you guys enjoyed watching. Definitely give this video a thumbs up if you did, and let me know which part of my declutter you liked the most. Was it one of the videos I already did? Was it this video? or is it going to be the part with my face palettes and highlighters, or maybe my foundation? So don't forget to subscribe if you did enjoy this video, and I really hope to see you in my next video. Bye!